Morning, class. And here I am to review a little bit of language with you and to go over some things on this board behind me. So the first thing I want to draw your attention to is, can you see this poster right here? There are some words that we learned over here that we need to make sure we know the meaning of. Teach, to give knowledge, right? I teach you if I'm your teacher, and you learn to get knowledge. And most of you get that. Take and bring. Take is away from the speaker. Take it. Bring it to me. Bring is toward the speaker. And that's the difference between bring and take. You take something home, but you bring homework back to me. Sit, to rest or to be seated. All right. Set, to put or place something. We talked about that yesterday, didn't we? I sit down, as I am right now in this stool, or I set something on a desk. Lie and lay. Look at that. To rest or recline is lie. Lay, to put or place something, very similar to set. Lay is similar to set, but it's when the parts change, the parts of the words change form, that can be a challenge to us. I'm going to go up like this so you can see the bottom. To rest or recline. Lie down, to take a nap. Lay the paper on the desk. Can and may. Can, to show ability or power, but may, to ask permission. Make sure you understand those. Can, you can do it. You have the ability to do it if you can. May, you're asking permission. May I go to my friend's house? May I get to drink? You can do those things. You have the ability, but you're asking permission, aren't you? And can, I can run a whole mile, right? I can run 2 miles, whatever it is. I have the ability to do this, or I can kick a ball this far. I can. So that's showing ability. Then we have state of being verbs and linking verbs. We know these from our list. Am, is, or was, were, be, been, and it goes on to the helpers. Have, has, had, do, just did. Okay, but these are the being verbs, meaning these do not show action and they can remain alone in the sentence by themselves without a main verb. They're called being verbs. They're just showing state of being. He is good. He is a boy. She is a girl, right? They were, okay? There's no other main verb. Linking verbs link something back to the subject that we'll talk about later, but I'm going to go ahead and show you. Sam is a boy, that very simple sentence. Sam and boy are linked together with this is in between them. Sam is boy, right? Kayla is a girl. They are friends. They and friends are the same, aren't they? And they're being linked with these words, so they can be linking verbs that we'll get into later, but at least you will have heard it. And when you see it, it won't be such a surprise for you. Look at the board. Look behind me. I'm going to move my stool like this. Can you see all of the words that are on the board here? David sit or set his things on the chair in review from last time. Would we say sit his things or set his things? Raise your hand if you said set. I'm going to circle that one. That is the correct one, to put or place something. Yesterday, Reagan lay or laid in bed with a fever. Would we say that she lay or laid? Now remember the parts of lie. Lie, lying, in the past tense is lay, have lain. So in the past, What we're really saying is to lie down, to rest or recline, lie. The past tense is lay. Raise your hand if you guessed the right one on that one, because that one probably threw some people. So we're going to find out about that one later. You often will hear someone, they laid down. They laid down yesterday, but they lay down yesterday because laid means you're putting or placing something. I didn't place her down. No, she was reclining in bed with a fever. She was ill, wasn't she? So lay is actually the correct one there. So make sure you know that one. That one is one that will throw a lot of students. But you know what? If you're listening right now, you're going to get it, aren't you? I hope so. Mr. Lyons lay or laid his tools down. Lay or laid his tools down. He laid them down or he laid them down. He laid them down, right? Now we're putting in place something. Lay, laying, laid, if it's in the past. Mrs. Gowans will teach or learn our class. I hope you got that one. You should know that one. Teach, right? The teacher teaches. The disciples taught or learned from Jesus. The disciples taught or learned from Jesus. I want to step out of the way here, make sure I'm not in the way. The disciples learned. Jesus is teaching, but they are receiving the knowledge. They are learning what Jesus taught them, okay? Bring or take your report card home. Remember which one's which. Bring is toward the speaker. Take is away from the speaker. So which one is it? Bring or take your report card home. You need to take it home. Raise your hand if you got that one right. Did you take it? You take it home. You take it home. You bring it back signed, right? You bring it back signed. Boomer, bring or take back my slippers. Now, in this case, we're talking to the dog. I assume it's the dog. Bring them back or take them back. You should have circled, bring back my slippers, because they're coming back towards the speaker, right? Take it away, bring it back. Take it away, bring it back. And so if you got that, you got it exactly right. So have you got all of those right? Before I said it, you knew the answer. Maybe there was just one. I know that line, lay one. You'll want to really practice. So go back in your book where it talks about that and look at the parts very carefully. It can really be a challenge. So over and over and over, I would practice that one more. Today, we're also going to be talking about summarizing sentences or summarizing statements or summarizing main ideas. So I'm going to read this story and I want to see if you can summarize. What is a summary? Think about what a summary is. I'm going to tell you. A summary basically takes some information and makes it more brief or makes it shorter. You could take a whole book, you could summarize it into a few sentences on what it was basically about in not so long of a writing, right? So listen to this as I read this to you, okay? The giraffe is extremely tall, the tallest of all animals. This could make it easy for his enemies to spot him. Yet God gave the giraffe markings on his body that help him to hide among the foliage. He blends right in with leaves that he eats. Sometimes he can even be mistaken for a tree. His long neck also makes it possible for him to see his enemies over the treetops when they try to sneak up on him. But his long neck does present a problem. Reaching the water to get a drink is a problem. Because he cannot kneel down by the stream, he must spread his front legs apart to reach the water. Maybe you've seen a picture of that before. In this position, it is hard for him to be ready to run from danger. Fortunately, he can go without water for several days at a time when necessary. He always looks around carefully for enemies before he takes a drink. Lions and leopards are two of his greatest enemies. While the giraffe does not have claws or sharp teeth to defend himself, he does have long legs. With his long legs, he can usually outrun his enemies. When this is impossible, he strikes his enemies with his powerful legs. Sometimes he can even kill a lion with swift kicks of his hind legs. Now, that was a summary of probably if you went in and you looked into an encyclopedia, or you looked online, or you saw it in a book. We were taking basic information about this giraffe, or, and there were actually 3 paragraphs that were written here about it. And it was summarized the main ideas. So we're going to be summarizing the main ideas, a summary, a short way of telling the main idea of something you have read or heard. And so instead of telling your friend all the details of everything about it, you just want to stick with the main thought, the main idea. And they make a list of all the main ideas. So when you pick your topic, whatever it is that you're writing about, think about it. Think about what the main idea is and stick with just the main idea. You don't have to tell everything about it. So we're going to actually take this example, and you can actually so actually this was long enough, you could even summarize what I just read. So you could take what I just read. What are some things about what I just read to you? And I'm going to write some things on the board. Could you not write something like, you could write something like tallest animal, right? Something about the giraffe being a very tall animal. Okay, so I'm going to write the word tallest there. What else could we write? Something about, what does he look like? What's he got on him? Did you say maybe spots or markings? Write a sentence about spots or markings to write your summary. What else could you say? Could you say something about camouflage? Maybe write a sentence about camouflage. Did I spell it right? That was a spelling word a while ago, wasn't it? Camouflage, maybe. How about, did it mention something about eating or drinking? What did it say? Could it be dangerous when he drinks? Dangerous when drinking? You could write a sentence about it being dangerous when drinking or when he drinks. Remember? And then you could go into about he used to spread his legs far apart to be able to kneel down because his neck is so long that he just can't get down in there. How about his ability to get away? Could we write something about that from enemies? Yes, you could. You could write what? Runs fast. Now, I'm not writing sentences, but you could take these thoughts and write a paragraph. Runs fast. Did anyone say runs fast? Yes, that's something else that you could do. Let me go like this so you can see a little further down. How about defending himself? What could he do to defend himself from what I read? Do you remember? Remember? Well, who just said kicks enemies? He has the ability to kick enemies. Remember, those long legs are powerful too. And so he can kick his enemies, like this, kick his enemies with his long legs and strong legs. And so these are just a few ideas. You could take these ideas, maybe jot these things down on a piece of paper or in a spot in your book that you will do. And as you're looking at page 32 and 33, you're going to remember these things to help you make sentences. Take a sentence for each of these and make a summary over what you just heard me read and make your own writing out of it. And then remember the principal parts of the verbs, because you have some of those review words. The principal parts of the verb, especially lie, is in the present. Lying is the ing form of it. Lay is in the past. Yesterday I lay down. If there's a helper, I have lain. Lay something down. Let's put or place something. Laying it down. Laid it down. Yesterday I laid it down, and I have laid it down already. So if you can remember those principal parts, that will help you too. And then look at page 19 in your book, even though that's not, and just look at the parts of the words and the verbs that are there and review those too. So that you can always look on page 19 if you forget a form of a word. Keep going back to page 19 where there's those lists that will help you immensely, I'm sure, if you learned them. So do page 32 and 33. And there actually is a homework assignment, but we're not going to be doing all of them. On page 213, there's a lesson 30 if anyone wants to. But these pages are what we should do, 32 through 33. Take care. Have a question, ask me if whatever we need to do, if I need to call or get with you somehow through this, we can do that. All right, you take care. And remember, I want you to learn something new every day, and you have a fantastic day. Bye. Oops, there we go.